Well, I reckon we're back for more live action for Ponds Forge for the 1500 freestyle. 4 heats of it, and as with the 800 yesterday, we're going to have the mixed all the way through. Chances are we might have a men only last heat, or depending on whether Amber Keegan swims. She didn't swim this morning, so if she doesn't swim tonight, we'll have an all male heat number 4, but the other 3 will be mixed. Waiting for 2:15 to roll around. We can start a couple of minutes away. Not sure they're going to stick to that totally. The swimmers are ready to go. I think we can probably give them a bit of leeway on this. It was supposed to be 2 o'clock, as you know, and delayed back to 2:15, but they're ready to go. Officials are ready to go. We're ready to go. That's your lineup. Everybody seems to be here. Okay, there's the referee's whistle. So we can get ready. I'll give you the running order, give you the lineup when we get underway. It's on your screen there, but I'll just flush out a few more details for you once we get underway. So 30 lengths of the Ponds Forge pool, 4 heats of the 1500 meters freestyle, and in both heat 1 and 2, looking at everybody born after the year 2001. 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005 represented in this. Times, though, are quite similar. Fastest in the field on paper would appear to be Harrison Lee. So let's go through, give you the male lineup first, and we'll break it into genders. James Buckton Graham, North Tyneside in 1. Harrison Lee will go in 4, is going in 4 for City of Wakefield. Lewis Baker, City of Sheffield in 5, and William Moore of South Tyneside in 7. Those are the men taking part. We have 3 women. Millie Fenton, Tynemouth in 2, Evie Barber of Grimsby in 3, and Alice Day of Darlington in 6. So we'll try and do our best to separate the races out for you. Just 1, 2, and 3 likely to be male, although that's not the case at the moment. Lewis Baker, leading from William Moore and from Evie Barber. Just looking at their relative entry times here. 18:30 for Harrison Lee of Wakefield, 2004 born, so 14 this year. 18:31 for Lewis Baker. So the clubs represented here, quite a few from the northeast part of our region, North Tyneside, Teignmouth, and Darlington, and South Tyneside as well. From the Leeds and Humberside area, Grimsby, City of Wakefield, and City of Sheffield. It's actually only this time last year I think I found out that there was a city status for Wakefield, but they're very proud of that. They were very keen to tell me that last year as well. But City of Wakefield, Harrison Lee is in 4. Now, so looking at the relative ages of all our swimmers here, they should all be hoping to knock some time off this, because they don't get to swim 1500 all that often at competitive levels. So they don't get to do the 1500 very often at a pool of this caliber. Now, I still maintain that this is the best pool in the country. London may claim that the Olympic pool is better, but I still think the records prove that I have really quick times, personal best set in Ponds Forge, sets it apart from quite a few other pools. I think a lot of people in Europe think this is still one of the best pools in swimming. So if kind of work on the basis if you can't swim well here, you can't swim well anywhere. That's why the trial Sheffield, not always been in Sheffield, sometimes in Glasgow and obviously London around the Olympic time, but Sheffield has played host to the trials most often over the last 25 years. There is a reason for that. Depth of water, 2 meters this end, but 3 meters at its depth. Yes, it's 2 meters to 3 meters, which not get too technical because it has to be explained to me as well. It means that the ripples and the effect go down to the bottom and come back up much more slowly. Depth of water being the more it is, then the reverberations, the water coming back up through the surface takes a lot longer, which aids the stroke rate and everything else. So, there you go. Probably made a bit of a pixie of that, but you know what I mean. Depth of the water is important. It's a crucial, important factor and part of swimmers swimming well and swimming at their best, their optimum, in a pool like this. So where are we at? Well, we will be 1100 to go when they return to this end of the pool in the 1500s. If you have just joined us, it is a mixed race. James Buckton Graham, North Tyneside, Millie Fenton of Tynemouth, Evie Barber of Grimsby, Harrison Lee, City of Wakefield, Lewis Baker of City of Sheffield, Alice Day of William Moore. The problem is that this time in the afternoon, after all the heats are done, a lot of people have gone away to have some lunch, so very quiet in here. We'll be having to pretty much, you can probably hear the coach's instructions pretty clearly here because there's very little poolside noise. There will be a lot more when the evening session starts at 4 o'clock, but at the moment you have to plough your own furrow and do your own thing, which Lewis Baker is doing. And Lewis Baker, in terms of time, has an 18:31. I'm not quite sure what the chefing coaching team is looking for him to achieve here, but certainly a personal best will be good. So it's a pool he knows very well, trains here every day. A chance for the likes of James Buckton Graham, North Tyneside, who won't train a 50-metre pool, nor William Moore, a South Tyneside, to get the wider surroundings of a 50-metre pool. So in the men's race, Lewis Baker leading. Evie Barber, however, is second. So I did think the top 3 positions might all be male, but it's not the case because Evie Barber in lane 3 is currently second, but I think she might be shortly overhauled by the swimmer in either 7 or possibly her leader. Pretty clear, though it's still early stages. 1,000 metres to go next time they come back down this end of the pool. In fact, that was the 20, that is the 1,000 metre mark, that's the 500. Water adjusted. And away they swim to the far end, down towards the diving pool. As this will be very familiar surroundings for the 14-year-old as he is this year, Lewis Baker of City of Sheffield. 1,500 metre swimmers are, I think, a strange breed. It's a very punishing schedule. There is no shortcuts in 1,500 or indeed in open water. Sprinters can get away with maybe cutting their weekly training sessions down a bit. If you're not doing 1,500 with maybe 70k, 80k a week, a peak, then the rest of the world is. You're going to fall behind. That's what these youngsters, if they're looking to pursue a career long-term in swimming, they're going to have to do week in, week out, with very little rest in between. Mr. David Davis did that. Graham Smith did that. Ian Wilson from Leeds years ago. All had to do. That's why they got to Commonwealth Games. Jay Elliott, who swims for City of Sheffield, has now dropped the 1,500 from his programme. Does the 8, does the 4. We saw him do the 2. We'll see him do 2 later on today in the final. So that's especially with the 800 coming in as it is for the Tokyo programme, the Olympics in 2020. Time to realign and reassess what to do. And 800 is a much more comfortable distance for a lot of people, but there'll be a lot of 1,500 swimmers coming down to 8 and quite a few 400s going up to 8 in a couple of years' time. It's to see how that balances out. As well as this race is balancing out, still the same leader as it has been from early stages and still maintaining quite an advantage over the rest of the field. Lewis Baker of City of Sheffield will be, I'm sure, aware Going to be given the 16 marker. 800 metres to go, so next time he turns, he will be halfway. 750 to go, but there is a presence looming. A couple of lanes up. And that's William Moore, South Tyneside, who on paper is actually about 12 seconds behind our leader, but let's say because the age group they are, they will be dropping quite a bit of time on 1500. And quite rapidly too, so I'm not sure that's much of an indication. Get an idea where Lewis Baker is at 800, which is where he'll be next time. $700 to go when he turns, so kind of just over halfway split for our leader. Evie Barber, by the way, just dropped back into 4th place, but leading the women's race. Evie Barber, Alice Day and Millie Fenton all involved in the women's event. Quite tight between 1 and 2 here. Let's see what the split is for our leader. 9:39. 96. About 3 seconds and about 4 seconds back to 3rd. But I think visibly I can see William Moore moving. So I've decided this is the stage to make a move. A lot of swimmers do it about the 1,000 metre mark. He's doing it a little bit earlier than that. Miss Baker will be aware. There's a big presence a couple of lanes away. The gap will be nowhere near as big. We'll measure it here. So it is about 2 seconds, 2.14 is the gap at the moment, but I don't think it'll be that when they come back down this end. It seems to be just closing a bit. Also be aware Harrison Lee, City of Wakefield's really coming into the fray now. And starting to catch the top 2. Never way back yet. Also in lane 1, James Buckton Graham moving alongside. So what was the gap there? Yeah, gap was 1.2, so that gap came down by almost a second. In fact, I've got a feeling that William Moore's going to be leading before long. In fact, he may well be leading at the next turn. William Moore is to be stroking out very comfortably, whereas Lewis Baker is working very hard. See those arms and those legs working. It's a much more comfortable looking stroke anyway from South Tyne swimmer, who has just got to within half a second now, virtually, of our leader. I think he's going to gobble him up before he gets to the far end. 500 it will be when they turn next time. 2/3 gone. Pacing himself, saving something for the back end, but William Moore will be either on a par or right alongside him. In fact, he might take the lead for the very first time here. 500 to go. William Moore, South Tyneside, far side, will get the touch first. There he goes. Not much between them now, but just over half a second. Now, this could be a strategy from Lewis Baker. I mean, they're built slightly differently, so you can't always make that comparison, but William Moore just looked to be stroking quite comfortably, whereas it's a slightly more frenetic action from our leader, as was Lewis Baker. In fact, as you can see, William Moore is now moving further and further away. Gap will be much bigger, 1.4, and extending. So I just want to see if there's anybody lurking behind. But I still think there's something in the tank for Lewis Baker. I don't think he's going to keep falling further and further behind, but he's just not able to respond to the kick from William Moore. But then again, nobody else behind. Our top 2 are getting particularly close. James Buckton Graham, he and Harrison Lee are having their own little battle in 3rd place. But now there's a couple of body lengths advantage for our leader. So he entered on at 18.42. 13.20. Near 400 to go. Well, let's see if we get a time on his next 100. See where he might be aiming. Certainly quicker than 1842. Remember, he's the second slowest on paper in this field, but that's not going to be how this race plays out. 1842, 34 for the 16-year-old as he is this year. Would seem to have, to me, all the makings of a 1500 freestyler in terms of build. You need to be that kind of shape, that kind of build for a 1500 meters freestyle. There's very few who are built like sprinters, are all built to endure 30 lengths. He's got a really nice stroke, and the legs are doing what they need to do without overly kicking. Just getting quite a bit out of those legs as well, which Lewis Baker's not quite as much, more of a kind of flutter kick going on behind. There's the lead. It's up to 4.03 now for our leader, so I think he's away and clear. But nobody's really putting pressure on Lewis Baker for second. That's the only thing. I'm sure he'd quite like somebody alongside him, but he's going quickly enough that Harrison Lee and James Buckton Graham are getting a look in for second place. I was going to get a measure of the 100, wasn't I? But next time they come back, it'll be 200 to go. Try and give a little estimate of where we think he might end up time-wise. I think wouldn't be too rash a statement to say that he's definitely going to break his personal best by quite a bit. The question is how much. Get 10, maybe 20 seconds, possibly. He'll estimate that better when he finishes here. 200 to go when he turns this time. That gap is extending with every 50. So where are we at? 15:45. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, 15:45. Right. So, oh, you know, he could get around the 18-minute mark here. This would be a huge leap down. It seems a lot, though. Just to do a few calculations. 18:42. If he's going to knock 42 seconds off his personal best, I think that sounds a lot. But so at this age, that's what people do. They do, especially in the 1500, knock massive amounts off. And the way he's controlling this race, and the way he's pulled away, leads me to believe. So what's that? It's the 35, 70, 16:55. I think we're potentially looking at maybe an 18:05, 18:10, which would be good if I can bring it back. Lewis Baker's not finding anything at the back end of his race. I think we're going to find Millie Fenton being lapped in just a moment. There's the whistle. So I'll just say 18:05, I reckon. It's not beyond the realms of possibility, and so that will compare with 18:42. Not downplaying Lewis Baker either, who may well be in for a personal best of his own. Should be in for a personal best of his own here. Evie Barber still comfortably winning the women's race. Right, 50 to go for our leader. 17:31. Well, he's not going to break 18 minutes, but I think 18:05, 18:10 will not be bad. 18:10 more likely, I think. There he is, finishing off. Yeah, probably could be. So 18:10 might be a bit ambitious. 18:15. Well, no, 18:10's not far out. Come on, 18:10. Go and do it for me. 18:09. Sorry, 18:08. Better than I'd anticipated. It was error in the car side of caution there. 18:08.73 for our winner, which is a full 24 seconds better than he has been before. Second placed swimmer Lewis Baker 18:19. Well, that is 12 seconds better than his entry time. There was James Buckton Graham, who again has gone 21 seconds better. 18:25 compared to an 18:46. So as we say, this time in their progression, youngsters making big drop downs. That's what we've seen there. Leader of the women's race in the end was Evie Barber, finishing in 18:47.44. She has been quicker. But top three with notable and sizable PBs.